To all of the shy guys out there, how did you get a girlfriend? Was sitting in second day of bio class in college. Class had 100 plus students in it. I like to get there early to reserve my seat. Was a very shy guy and my row was always empty except me, which I didn't mind at all. Anyways, I was sitting there and I look over at the far door to watch the students pile in. A girl, obviously on the tennis team, walks in. 10/10. I look at her. She looks at me. I look away because I didn't want to be awkward. Next thing I know, she's right next to me and asks if the seat next to me is taken. It isn't. She sits down. I don't know what to do, but I have to do something. Look over and say I'm Benesapet. What's your name? And put my hand out. Immediately regret the decision because maybe a handshake is too formal. She awkwardly shakes it and gives me her name. I ask how long she's been playing tennis. She doesn't. She's on the golf team, not the tennis team. Feel like a dumbass but keep trying. She asks a couple of questions about me. I had just got back from living in France for a couple of years. I'm half French. And tell her. She's impressed and asks me to say a couple things in French. More impressed. Class starts. She mentions how she'll need a study buddy to get through this. I catch on. Tell her we should make a study group. She's all for it. I get her number to set the group up. Class ends. We go our separate ways. Next day of BO. I get to class a little later than usual. Walk in. She's in her old spot. She saved my spot. I'm on cloud 9 and never miss a day of BO. We start studying together before exams. Then we start studying together every day. I have a car. I take her out to eat every now and then. She invites me hiking a month later. Just me and her. We go up the mountain to a spot that overlooks the city. She plays my favorite song by Blues Traveler. That's when I fall in love. Ask her out on the hike down. She says yes. First kiss. 2 years later we are still together. Sounds incredible, man. That superhero name doesn't roll off the tongue too well. She apparently hit on me a lot and eventually got mad and was like, "Do you just not like me or what?" I eventually stammered out an apology and asked her to hang out for Christmas. We've tolerated each other for 6 years this Christmas, lol. And eventually got mad and was like, "Do you just not like me or what?" I eventually stammered out an apology. I didn't realize anime protagonists existed in real life. TFW second was real all along. Oh thank Christ. Well, my last girlfriend was a friend I had a crush on. We were playing the dot game, which is where you try to tap the other person's nose and say dot. It leads to a lot of wrestling if you're playing on a couch. I had her pinned down and we were both laughing. Then I just kissed her. Lucky for me. She was thinking just kiss me already or else that would have been bad. If you're at the dot game stage, kissing is almost guaranteed. My BF is more introverted than shy. He and my brother worked together and my brother asked him to help move a big piece of furniture. He stayed for dinner. We talked and then I asked him out. He's held on to me tight ever since. 3 Basically he did someone a favor and got dinner and a girlfriend out of it. Basically you did all the work and he's lucky. Lol, yeah, edit. Thank you. When I was 19, one of my extrovert friends hooked me up with another introvert I never would met otherwise. We started off exchanging emails. We lived 200 miles apart. This was in 2005. Before smartphones with video chat. Before video chat was really even a thing. I had no idea what she even looked like. Our 8th anniversary is Monday. And we are taking the kids to dinner and a movie to celebrate. Did you find out how she looks like? We are still too shy to look. Asked her out over MySpace. Fucking MySpace. She inexplicably said yes. And we've been together since. Well, MySpace was a thing. I met my boyfriend through MySpace. October 31st is our 10-year anniversary. My current BF is as shy as they come. He won me over by approaching me at a college mixer and just smiling and nodding while I blabbered on and on about the James A. Garfield assassination. Sometimes listening is all you need. close bracket. A little bit of alcohol helps me become a bit more social, so that helps. Slightly less than 2 drinks. I didn't get her. She got me. She went up to me and said, "You're my boyfriend now," and since I'm too shy to say yes or no, I went with it. We have been dating for 6 years now. Kindergarten. Them days. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. I went through a 2-year period where I became pretty normal. I met her and got married during that time. I was sociable for some reason I don't understand. After we got married I kind of went back to my old self. This answer is probably not much help. Just broke up with my GF of 6 years. We met because I was making a conscious effort to be social after graduating high school. Unfortunately, I too reverted back to being antisocial and now I'm single again. You are a lucky man that she has stuck with you equals. For me, the trick was to be cool with being alone. I found my happiness, worked on improving myself, and eventually women started noticing me. There is definitely something to the confidence is sexy thing. I guess my advice is, live your life and don't obsess about being single. Also, going to the gym helps because the better you think you look the more confidence you project. I played the long con. Knew her for like 7 years. Visited her on a job interview late November. Moved up to her like 2 weeks later. And married in March. That was 5 years ago. And now we have a 6-week-old daughter. It's been a busy few years. I'm awkward as hell, and I just told dumb jokes to make her laugh. I was always there for her, and we went out on a date up to a lake and just talked most of the night. We've been dating ever since. So my advice is just be yourself. She made me so much more confident in myself, and the past year and a half has flown by. First one, she ended up liking me for some reason. And it was pretty obvious. She ended up confessing first. So yay me. For a while. Then not so yay. Second one, Tinder. Grab it because I don't go out at all. And there's no other way for me to really meet people. First person I swipe is essentially a clone of me. Just female. Instant hookup. A couple days later decide we're dating. Yay for me. At least for now. We'll see how things go. Holy shit. I found my clone, and we've been texting literally the whole day away. I'm too nervous to meet him at the moment. But we'll see. She called me to wish me for my birthday, and asked if we could hang out to talk. She confessed she's been in love with me for the better part of a year. It's been 3 months since then. I felt the connection instantly. It almost scared me. I couldn't believe good chemistry could be this good. So yeah, I guess I hit a jackpot. Is the answer. I wear a fake cast and trick them into helping me load stuff into my van. Found Ted Bundy. Or Buffalo Bill. Oh man. It was my first day in my math class. I saw this really pretty curly haired girl. She caught my eye and I sat close to her. The teacher ended up being horrible. Student teacher. So she would ask for help to explain stuff and I would too after following her lead. Eventually a group of us were confused enough we made a study group, and I still remember how happy I was when I got her number to make plans to study and look over the stuff the teacher didn't explain good enough. I ended up transferring out of the class because the teacher really was horrible, but we stayed in touch. One night she had a horrible pain and her roommate had plans elsewhere, so I took her to the hospital instead of studying, and we bonded on a whole other level. It was like I'd known her for years. Like she was instantly my new best friend. And then we just fell for each other after all the inside jokes and daily help we'd give each other. I know I got really lucky, but it made up 4 years of bad luck. I'd dated for very short periods of time on and off during college, but never anything that lasted more than a few weeks, and usually only 1 or 2 dates that went nowhere. This happened once I was out of college. Her best friend and my best friend got married. Her friend, the bride, sat us at the same table. I actually moved to another table because all my friends were sitting there. Halfway through dinner the bride waves me over and asks why I moved. I told her, And she said, "But I'm trying to get you to meet that redhead at the original table." Would have been nice to know that. So I went back to the table and we chatted. But it didn't really go anywhere. Then a couple months later I was having a party. And her friend invited her without me knowing. Told me she was coming just a few minutes before she arrived. Cue me freaking out but also composing myself. Ended up talking with her for like 4 hours. And asked her on a date. Things went well from there. And we've been married 8 years this Tuesday. Tinder. We got coffee. Walked around Goodwill. And made out in the back of her car on the first date. Couple of weeks later. And we are in love. It's been 2 years now. No regrets. It wasn't easy. We used to work together, and for 3 months I was asking people at work if the girl I was interested in was single. Asked 3 people and never got an answer. Asked my best friend who also worked there at the time, and he told me she didn't. Took me another month to ask her. My friend kept asking if I had asked her out yet. I had it all planned out. I had a vacation coming up. She worked the Monday night. I went up right before close and bought some shit I really didn't need, but used it as an excuse. I stayed after and talked to my friend who helped me out. After a while I started making conversation, acting like I was looking at the schedule. Even though it didn't matter to me, since I wasn't working. I felt the lump in my throat growing and growing. I knew if I didn't ask I probably never would. I felt like my nervousness was showing, and she was probably wondering what this weirdo was doing just creeping around her. I finally got the balls to straight up ask her if she wanted to go to dinner. She looked kinda freaked out, and I immediately started to panic. Then she did with a smile. Yes. I couldn't believe it. But instead of keeping it inside I said, "Really?" Still hate myself for that. But I never let her live down her answer. Why not? She didn't realize it at that time. But that night is quite possibly what saved me. That was 2 years ago, and we just got married this past May. Don't regret a single moment of it. Bonus, my friend didn't know that I asked her out that night. And she didn't know at the time, but I gave him a louder high five on the way out. Told them both about it about a month after. I'm in the exact same spot you were in. Found out she was single. Talked to her about stupid things like what time are you off or yeah I can open that box for you. She also seems say a few menial words to me as well every day. And she doesn't talk to any other guy there. I'm stuck. Want to ask her out but can't. I usually have no problem at this point popping the question. But this girl is different. Edit. Got her number. I formally told her that she was my girlfriend. And that she could start sending me nudes if Mladdie felt like it. I haven't heard back from her. So I'm assuming that's a yes. // wasting your time with 3D roasties fucking normie. Edit. Fixed me marrow. When I was in high school I was extremely shy. When I moved to a new town I saw a girl in my homeroom who was very cute and interesting looking. I had a thing for old girls at the time, still do, and she had purple hair and was super artsy. I basically stalked her by finding her liver journal and reading every post she made. I learned a ton about her this way. As creepy as it sounds, I learned that she really liked books, so I started bringing in weird books on philosophy that I left out in plain view. So she started asking me about the books, and I would casually show interest in things that I knew she was super into. Obviously, we really hit it off and would talk on AIM every day. She eventually confessed that she had a crush on me, so I reciprocated and we dated for around 4 months. First girl I had sex with, but that's another ridiculous story. Now many years later, I met my wife at the gym by pretending to need fitness advice. So my answer is still the same. Deception. Works 60% of the time. Every time. No, but seriously, this is great advice. As long as you don't go overboard. Using Facebook or in this case liver journal to see what they like and hopefully find something you both like. Then finding a way to get them to notice you're both interested in it is good. I know Mr. Marbles 1988 pretended to like stuff. That works too if you do your research. Just be careful not to go into it too much. or be prepared to tell the truth early on once you realize you actually have similar taste in other things. If you spend the rest of your life with this person, you don't want to be reading philosophical books you aren't into until you die. Also, don't just walk up to this person and say you like philosophy books. Me too. Do what Mr. Mubbles did. Hopefully let them come to you by leaving clues. Just not too overt, like throwing the philosophy books at them. Tinder of all places. It has the stereotype. But I firmly believe that you find what you're looking for on these apps. I was on it in college, and there's definitely ample opportunity for hookups. Last year I downloaded again and started meeting a lot of really interesting people. One girl was going for her PhD at Caltech. Another was working for a non-profit that helps cancer survivors. One girl was in town for the weekend and was looking for a weekend date. I couldn't say no. My point is that if you're looking for a relationship, you'll find it. If you're looking for hookups, you'll find it. Was in a mutual meetup group at a happy hour at a local bar/restaurant. Noticed her shooting me glances more than twice throughout the night but didn't act. She messaged me afterwards asking if I wanted to get to know her. I said sure and asked her out for a drink. The rest is history. I was a 22-year-old kissless virgin. I self-published a zine in the mid-late 90s. I put an article in there about how I was lonely, looking for companionship. Some zine friends recommended me to one of their real-life friends. We were married within 3 years. And it lasted for almost 15 years. She's great. The end was nobody's fault. We just were on different paths. Hey, I'm the girlfriend of the shy guy. Dude was maximum level introverted. He was terrified and unsure and just going along with the flirts that I was sending his way. And that was the exact right thing to do. He put himself in a social situation, and I showed up to consume him. He had the social awareness to know when I was hitting on him, and just went along with it. I did most of the heavy lifting. Hey, you're cute, let's talk for an hour about Warhammer 40k. We should talk more about Space Marines at another place, okay? Yes, I'm touching your chest. But my dude was excellent in being aware of my hit-ons and responding to them. Despite the fear that was very obviously there. I like taking control. I find it really flattering when a guy is scared of me. My dude was terrified. Like virgin terrified. And all the anxiety and self-defeating thoughts and everything was attractive to me. I took all that fear as a compliment and used it to drive my flirts until, oops, it is 5 years later and he has met my grandparents. Everything flowed from that single point. And that point was accepting that this is happening. Let's just go with it. Shy guys, your fear is adorable. Women will respond. Sometimes we are strong and will want to drag you off to play arcade games and teach us how to dominate as immortal Necron overlords. Learn, adapt, accept. Just go with it. I had to get our high school librarian to introduce us. By sheer coincidence, the librarian was friends with both of us, so it was easy. My desired girlfriend thought I was a geek. 30 years later, 22 married, she still thinks I'm a geek. Especially with my new Star Trek Bluetooth communicator badge.